great. All's great.
I got to ask you, too, about your Kia commercial with Jack McBrayer.
Yes.
Zipline crime fighter Blake Griffin. That must have been fun to shoot.
It was, and it was a blast. Jack is an unbelievable actor and an awesome person, actually, as well. I never really had a chance to work with him or even really meet him before, and he was amazing, man. He was so fun to work with, and made my job a little easier.
Is it ever strange for you when you're watching TV, you're watching sports on TV, and one of your commercials comes on?
Oh, of course.
Do you ever get used to that?
Yeah, no, I'm not really used. I mean, I've seen enough to where I'm somewhat used to, like, it's not like a surprise, but I hate it. I always change the channel. I don't really want to.
You change the channel?
Yeah, I mean, I try not to, like, pay attention. Especially if I'm in a room, like, go in the locker room, and commercial comes on, I try to, like, completely avert all attention away from the TV.
Have you ever gone on YouTube and put your name in there to watch some of your dunks?
Yeah, I have. I'm not gonna lie. Well, somebody will be like, "Hey, have you seen this video?" So I'll go like search for it or something if it's worthwhile. But I normally don't like every day just type my name in and search for stuff.
Well, I mean, obviously you guys and yourself specifically had the whole Lob City thing going. And you guys have still, the game I saw, there were some great dunks. You had one last night, a little tap pass on Wednesday night, a little tap pass for a nice dunk. So it may not be the Lob City that was going there for a little stretch, but you guys are still doing a good job with putting on a show, right?
Yeah, I mean, our idea behind that wasn't like, okay, we're not gonna like throw lobs anymore. We're not gonna dunk anymore. It's just that I think people thought like Lob City, and they just think like flash, and I think guys that just want to be showy. But this year, I think we're really kind of focused on trying to be a defensive team that can play with a little grit, get stops when we need to, stuff like that. So it's not necessarily that we're not gonna play up tempo, high speed above the rim.
Right. So you still provide yourself some highlights for you to check on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. I got something to do at night.
I was curious about. I know you guys played Golden State on Christmas Day, and you played on Christmas Day last year, and I think it was Stan Van Gundy who sort of ripped the NBA a little bit about scheduling Christmas Day games. So what's your feeling on that as a player now who has to play on two Christmases in a row?
I mean, I get it. This will be our third year in a row.
Oh, okay. Bad research by me.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's okay. I mean, I get it because, when I was younger, I loved watching NBA Christmas Day games.
Right.
But, as a player, it's like you kind of want that holiday with your family and just to kind of hang out and stuff like that. But, I mean, it's all good. I love playing, so I'm not gonna be mad just because it's Christmas. And
I noticed you used to be one of the better athletes on Twitter, but you've been very quiet lately. What's up with that?
Man, Twitter is just gotten a little too negative for me.
Yeah, I could see that.
I mean, it's just like you can't really say anything. Like you could have like a completely positive and fine tweet, and there's just going to be problems. So it's like I've just kind of gotten away from Twitter a little bit.
Do you check it to see what people who you follow are saying, and you just don't tweet, or you don't even look at it at all?
No, you know what? I check like the my timeline. I say so the people I follow.
Right.
But I don't search my mentions anymore. I'll never really look through my mentions.
Right.
I look through and see what I'm missing. Because at one point I deleted it from my phone.
Right.
So I didn't get on and look at it, but then I felt like I was missing out on like all current events. So,
yeah, I mean, if you can have the willpower to just not check your mentions, then it's a beautiful thing as a news source.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
But it takes willpower to not, feed the ego and check those mentions.
Right. Yeah. It's been a solid 2-3 months now, so I'm going strong.
Do you follow Kobe on Twitter?
I'm not sure if I do or not. I feel like I always see his tweets just because somebody in the same world that I follow is going to retweet it.
He's done I mean, me personally, I mean, if you're an athlete and especially a really good athlete, I don't see the benefit of being on Twitter. Like you said, I just think and it's interesting to me, like guys like, you still have enough big names, like Tom Brady's not on Twitter, Derek Jeter's not on Twitter,
right.
Peyton Manning's not on Twitter. But it's interesting with Kobe because he's obviously one of the greats, and he's on there, and he's done a good job with it, I got to say, as keeping it light and sort of. But he's got to be a guy too who probably just can't check his mentions.
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't really talked to Kobe about his Twitter policy.
Do you ever talk to Kobe?
He does do a good job. Yeah, I mean, occasionally here and there.
Yeah. Do you think? I mean, as a guy in the Clippers, you're probably happy he's not playing. Obviously, you're not happy anyone's hurt, but from a standing standpoint, you have to be happy he's not there. But in terms of the league, do you like when he's around, or you just don't care about what's going on and you're just focused on the Clippers?
No, I mean, it's great for the league. I mean, I like playing teams when they're at their best. You know, it's never like a situation where you're like, oh yes, this guy's out. It just makes it more fun when teams are at their best and they're playing their best, and that's the challenge. You know, so this year has the potential to be one of the best years. I think, obviously, especially since I've been in the league, as far as just the competition and how competitive so many of the teams are, especially in the West.
Have you had any contact recently with Lamar Odom?
No, man, I haven't talked to him. I talked to him the last time I talked to him was early this summer. You know, after the season ended. So I haven't been able to talk to him.
I guess there was a report that came out yesterday saying the Clippers or Lakers could be interested in him. Given what's gone on with him, I mean, how would you feel about that? If having him back on the team? Man,
Lamar's a great teammate, so. You know, I honestly would be thrilled. I'm not really worried about all that. He's such a great teammate. He did a great job for us last year. Not even talking on the court stuff, just off the court, being kind of a voice, in our locker room and keeping guys, in check during the season. And he has championship experience and he's played in big games. I'd support Lamar no matter what.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of crazy because you never know what to believe with stories like this. It's one minute we're hearing he's got this drug problem, and the next minute he's better and he's this and he's not going to rehab. He's going to rehab. He may be coming back. It's hard to sort of gauge what's true and not true there. But obviously, you just hope he's well, and then if he get back in the league, that would obviously be a good thing for him.
Absolutely.
What could you who knows what happened to him, I guess, exactly, but would you ever be able to do a reality show sort of like he did with his family?
Man, I don't think so, just because, like, when I go home, man, I just like sitting in front of the TV, sitting in front of the computer, hanging out with friends, family. I don't really like to have my private life put out there like that, but that's just a personal thing,
So you go home, you watch TV, you go on the computer. What are you watching on TV?
Man, I mean, obviously, besides sports, I mean, I'm always watching sports and stuff like that, but I'm a big Saturday Night Live fan.
Okay.
Modern Family, basically almost any comedy show I'm somewhat into. What else? I mean, that's probably pretty much it as far as TV goes. I'll record some movies here and there, and then on the internet, I'm just messing around.
What you say you watch? Do you watch all sports?
Nah. I mean, I don't watch like a lot of hockey. But every time I do watch one, I enjoy a game. But I mean, baseball, football, basketball. Watch a little bit of golf. Watch boxing here and there.
Who's your NFL team?
Oh man, to be honest, like growing up in Oklahoma with no NFL team, I just kind of find myself rooting for guys that I know, like
right.
around the league.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really say I have like a diehard team like that. But the joke around our locker room is that I just root for whoever wins the Super Bowl every year. So, for a whole like summer and first part of the season, I'm claiming the Baltimore Ravens. So
who are you rooting for this year?
Man,
the Broncos.
I'd love to see Peyton Manning get one.
Oh, so you really are a bandwagon jumper.
No, you know what? I'm a fan of great players, and I think the talk about how Peyton Manning only has one is ridiculous for how good he's been and just the way he carries himself. It's
going to be. I mean, he's got two bad ankles right now, so it's going to be very interesting to see how that sort of plays out. Because obviously, if he's 100% healthy, they're most likely going to the Super Bowl. But
right. I mean, that's kind of what I thought last year until that costly misread
on that bomb.
Yeah.
But he was playing better this year than last year, which is kind of scary.
That's true. That's true.
And we've got the Christmas Day games we talked about. Did you see those uniforms by any chance? Did you see what you're going to be wearing?
Yeah, I saw them this morning. I haven't seen them in person, but I saw them this morning.
Your thoughts?
They're really pushing these jerseys pretty hard, so it must be like I'm hearing like our jerseys like every single game are going to eventually be that. So.
Oh, really?
That's what I'm hearing. Like, not necessarily next year, but maybe a couple years down the line. So I'm not going to fight it. I mean, you can't really do anything about it. They're going to make us do whatever they want. So, just got to get used to them.
It's a good politically correct answer.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, like as far as wearing them, they don't bother me. I thought they would bother me, having the sleeves, but I work out, in the summer in the Jordan like compression T-shirts like that all the time.
Right.
So that doesn't bother me. It's just the look that I'm trying to grasp.
Well, we'll be watching on Christmas Day in the ugly uniforms, and even though it's Christmas and everyone's supposed to be with their families, they'll be around the TV watching the NBA and, basically giving in to David Stern's wishes. So
yeah,
it'll all be good.
Adding insult to injury, playing on Christmas Day and wearing those uniforms.
Yeah, exactly. Double whammy. Can you imagine if you lose? Now you really got to make sure you win that game.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's a terrible playing right home.
All right, well, I really appreciate the time, and I thank you for being my first guest here. And hopefully we'll have you back down the road, maybe before you guys are getting ready for the playoffs or something like that.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Take it easy.
All right, you too.
My thanks to Blake Griffin of the Clippers for being my first guest on the Buzz podcast with Jimmy Traina. We will hopefully do this very often and give you some more entertaining guests like Griffin. We will see you next time. Thanks a lot.